Welcome to Rick's Corner. I got Doug Brignoli back, and we're on another subject now. We're going to talk about abs because a good six-pack is good, but an eight-pack is better. If you want to have an eight-pack, you can't be drinking six-packs every night.
Right.
Stone Cold Steve Austin called me a couple of weeks ago. He said, "Hey Rick, what kind of diet you guys had back in the day?" I said, "You know what it was. It was high protein, low carb. You guys didn't drink alcohol?" I said, "No." "You know wine, no beer?" I said, "No." He says, "Well, what the hell do I have to do? I have to give up my six-pack every night?" I said, "Absolutely." Yeah. You're not gonna get abs with a six-pack of beer every night. So I guess maybe he's not doing that now.
Right.
Anyway, let's talk about the abs.
Let me first say that what you have, whether it's a 4-pack or a 6-pack or an 8-pack, is what Mother Nature, God, gave you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can make it more visible or less visible, but you cannot be ripped and have a 4-pack and then later turn that into a 6-pack or an 8-pack.
Right.
And the reason for that is because the dividers between those rows are called tendinous intersections. They're essentially tendons. They've been there genetically since birth, right? You can no more add another row of muscles than you can add another Achilles tendon, right? You cannot make a tendon, right? All you can do is develop what's already there.
Right.
So the reason I tell you this is because the idea of working the lower abs is usually only for one or two reasons. Either you want to spot reduce the lower midsection, which is impossible because you can't spot reduce anything. That's number one. And number two is you can't add another row
if it's not there.
Okay, right. So now let me go a little bit further. There's something called the all or nothing principle of muscle contraction, which means that when a muscle is connected here and here, as the bicep is, when that muscle contracts, it contracts entirely or not at all.
Okay.
You cannot contract the lower part more than the upper part, or the upper part. You cannot do it. It's like a tug of war.
I know where you're going with this.
Okay, so you cannot do anything that causes the lower abs to work harder than the upper abs.
Right.
Okay. There is a study that was done where they connected an electrode of the EMG to try to see how much muscle activity there is in the upper, the middle, and the lower part of the abs, and they tested 6 exercises. And what they discovered was that these 6 exercises had different degrees of stimulation of the abs, but all of them resulted in more stimulation or more activity, I should say, in the top than in the bottom. Okay, why is that? Well, it's very simple. Apparently, the way we're designed is that each row of abs has its own slightly different activity level.
Mm-hmm.
So you can contract the uppers, and you will, whether you choose to or not, doesn't matter which exercise you're doing. The upper part will contract a little bit more than the next one, then the next one, then the next one. In my book, I explain this more like a 10, a 9, an 8, a 7. Right? They all get activated, but they all get activated in this decreasing amount. Why? Because straight across from the highest row is the part of your back that actually bends when you do abs.
I'll be darned.
So that's the way we're designed. You cannot bend your spine exactly where you want it. It bends where it's designed to bend, and that happens to be straight across from the highest part of the abs. Okay, so the abdominal muscle, the rectus abdominis, creates what's called spinal flexion, curving of the spine. Okay, so I have this drawing here, which is in my book. This is an enlarged version of it to show the muscle starts here at the top. It connects to the pubic bone of the pelvis, right? Nothing is connected to the legs. So when you're doing a leg raise, it is not this muscle that's pulling in the legs. It can't. It's not connected to it, right? Mm-hmm. So when this muscle shortens and contracts, it creates a rounding of the spine as this muscle gets closer together. Okay, so what is pulling your legs up? This muscle right here. It's called the psoas. Now, your hip flexors are comprised of basically 5 muscles, but the primary hip flexor is that muscle right there. It's called the psoas, and you can see where it starts, the lumbar spine. That's where it originates, and it comes down, it connects to the legs, and it pulls those legs up. So what happens when that hip flexor contracts? Since it's connected to the lower spine, it pulls the spine into an arch.
Yeah.
It pulls the spine forward at the lumbar area, right? What is the abdominal trying to do? The opposite.
Right.
It's trying to round the back. It's trying to curve the back, right? So here you can see the rectus abdominis connecting to the pubic bone. This is the arrow showing it's trying to, and this is the arrow saying that when you do this, it rotates the pelvis back, rounding the spine. So that means when you're doing a leg raise of any kind with the intention of working your abs, not only are you not working the lower abs because it's impossible, but you're interfering with the abdominal contraction, because it's basically saying the abdominal muscle is saying, I want to flex the spine, and the hip flexor is saying, no, you're not. I won't let you. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to pull the spine forward instead of letting it go back.
Is this what causes L5 and L4 problems?
This is what causes lower back discomfort when you do abs, when you do leg raises. Right. And people say, why does my lower back hurt? Well, not only are you having a tug of war with both muscles having a different goal. Right? The preferred goal of the hip flexor is to have the spine be arched. It is good, by the way, to work the hip flexors, but only with the spine arched, right? Separately from the abs. When you're trying to work, look, this is what's funny, a long time ago, maybe, 20 years ago, the fitness industry came out and said, let us no longer do sit-ups.
Yeah.
Let us do crunches instead. Why?
Yeah.
Because there's too much hip flexor involved in a crunch. So you recognize that the hip flexor involvement simultaneous to the ab contraction is a competing interest. And then the fitness industry tells us to go ahead and do leg raises, which is even more hip flexor activation.
Yeah, I mean, I do them, but my lower back hurts when I'm done.
It is a nonsense exercise. You will not get any improvement in the lower abs, i.e. you will not get any spot reduction, you will not get any more development, and it actually prevents the full contraction of the rectus abdominis.
Yeah, that's the thing. People think you're going to get spot reduction, but you don't.
No.
And sit-ups I never liked.
And by the way, when they do the hanging leg raise, you've got the fingers, the shoulders, you have all this strain. It's a very high-cost exercise with a nothing result, with a nothing payoff. Yeah. It's just not worth doing.
So what's the answer?
Crunches.
That's it.
Well, look, people say, well, I have a hard time with crunches.
What about crunches with the rope?
Yeah, well, crunches with the cable, you mean?
Yeah, cable.
Well, look, again, like on the last show, it's all about the direction of the resistance, right? So if I'm going to do kneeling cable crunch, right, and that cable is coming from there, that is a direction of resistance, right? That means when I'm up, that cable is parallel to my torso, meaning I'm neutral.
Yeah.
I get no resistance here. As I come forward, I'm going to increase the resistance, which is kind of backward, by the way, because the strength curve is the opposite of that. It's stronger at the beginning, weaker at the end, right? But I'm also not going to get the maximum resistance, which means I'm going to have to load this thing up unnecessarily. The resistance should come from behind you. Sit in a chair, in a low chair,
and turn the other
have
way.
The cable coming from behind you, then put the rope on your head or on here, then go forward.
The reason I even bring that up, because I can't do legs and bend my knee right now.
Yeah.
So I have to do those. I do them standing because it's the only way I can
Standing is good, or sit down and let your legs go straight.
Okay.
And get that cable from behind you, have somebody hand it to you.
I'm really at a loss right now with my leg. I can't bend the knee all the way, so sitting has to be a certain height until I get my flexion back and then I can do what I got to do.
Right.
So I'm just trying to work around everything the best I can.
Right. And by the way, when we work abs, one of the biggest misconceptions about working abs is that somehow they will define your abs. Meaning that they will somehow reduce the fat that covers the abs. It's impossible. That is the myth of spot reduction.
That's the diet.
But the reason I tell you this is because people will say to me, oh, I know you can't spot reduce. And I go, so why do you do your abs every day? You don't do your biceps every day?
I'll tell you exactly why. It's a guilt trip.
Yeah.
It's all it is, Doug. People do abs every day because, well, I ate last night, I want to work my abs.
Because they feel better.
They feel
but
better.
But it's logically, scientifically, it's useless.
No, I know, but you feel better. You don't want to leave the gym. I didn't do 100 reps of abs, so I got to do it because mentally I'll see, okay, I did it.
Yeah, but your abs is a muscle.
Yeah.
Just like your bicep.
Right.
Just like your pecs.
Right.
So I work my abs on day 4 of my 4-day split. Right, just like I do any other muscle on one of the 4 days, and that's it. Right, and when I do my abs 5 sets, maybe 6. Right, and I do with higher weight and lower weight, and I do high reps and I do low reps, and that's it. If I have abs, and I do, you've seen them from competition.
I know you have.
It is from bringing my body fat level down. You're going to have the best abs in the world if you're lean, and if you don't have the leanness, doesn't matter how well developed the abs.
I said this to the guy one day. He's like, aren't you going to work your stomach? He says, hell no, it's big enough already.
You're I used to have a friend that used to brag about having the best ab.
Yeah,
because it was just one.
Yeah, that's what happens. It gets covered up. Well, that's very.
But isn't this interesting when you look at the anatomy and you say, well, duh, this is so logical. When you look at the anatomy, you say, how could this myth have lasted so long? We see people doing leg raises all the time.
Yes.
And it is not doing what they think what they think it's doing. Absolutely not. And they're creating this lower back discomfort.
Very good. Well, I know you have to go train somebody. They're waiting on you.
I do. I have a 90-year-old client I'm going to go train right now.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that ironic? I know this advanced biomechanics, and some of my clients are 90.
Well, let's just talk. This is all in your book, and your book's available where?
Yeah, my book is available. This is a mock printed version. It's actually the book. But right now it's only available as a PDF, as a digital download. email me for instructions on how to send $50 payment to me. It's dbfitness@aol.com. And PayPal is the way you send the money. And in June, this coming June, I hope to have it in printed form. I'm actually talking with Healthy Learning Publishers right now who are very interested in getting it published for me.
So good. And I also have a book out called The Time of My Life, which is my life from the time I was born, not a few years later maybe.
Well, you can hear the dirty stories too.
Yeah, there's dirty stories, and there's stories about Gold's Gym, the characters in the showers, behind the showers, in the gym, on the beach, in Venice.
Photos?
There's photos. There's my training, my wrestling, my movie work, my acting, my music, and it's all in there, and it's a very interesting book, said in my own words with tons of photos.
Wow.
You can get it on Google, you can get it at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and iTunes. It's $9.95, a Kindle download, and it's called The Time of My Life.
Those were the days.
Those are the days, man. They'll never be duplicated.
Colorful characters, and everything was new back then.
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing documentaries on all this now because they want to capture that era, and I've been dealing with so many companies doing the documentaries that it's going to be really fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And you're drawing?
On my drawing is available, the Gold's Gym logo.
I love that.
The original one that I did on the
That's
t-shirt.
my favorite.
Which is in my office right now, on an 8x10 piece of paper, hand-drawn for you, each one individually drawn by me, sitting right here.
I love that.
Autographed to you, signed by me, and shipped out for $75. You can order off my website, rickdrasin.com.
Iconic logo.
It's the largest selling logo in the world, believe it or not.
Beautiful.
Who knew at the time I did it? I had no idea.
Yeah, exactly. It was on a napkin, right?
I did it on a napkin. I should be a millionaire now. And
if you had a penny for everyone.
I could have a napkin company. And they weren't sanitary napkins, by the way. Also, I want to give you a tip of the week. The tip of the week is Old School Labs, who have been sending me products to try, and I don't BS this at all. There's a lot of products out there that are garbage, but I've been using their stuff, and I really like what they have. Their pre-workout, their amino acids, they have a greens that's kind of a minty thing that I mix with my oranges, so I don't have to eat my vegetables. I hate vegetables. And they also have a sleep called a sleep one, and they have a brain one called Bright, which I've been trying, and I really like.
I thought you were a little bit smarter today.
I'm so much
wittier
smarter
today.
I am so witty. Old School Labs. I just really like this. I mean, someone said to me, "Oh, you're getting paid off. You're pushing this company." Look, I have sponsors. Sure, sponsors are going to give me a little buck here and there just to help them out, but I don't do that unless I believe in the product.
Right.
We all have to make a living. This is how we live.
But you have the ethics to at least endorse a company that you believe in.
I'm 72 years old. I have to watch my income just like everybody else. Companies come to me all the time. I shush them away if I don't like them. This company's solid. They're good people. I like their product and I like what they do. Another product I got in the mail a couple of weeks ago is called Power Swabs. For people, I always said yellow teeth are so ugly. White teeth are so pretty. And when you see somebody, when you first meet them, the first off, you're going to date her. You see a girl, she has ugly teeth. You're not going to want to kiss her. But she has pretty white teeth. You're going to want to lick her lips. At least I do. So Power Swabs, and I tried this, and I had my girlfriend, I had her daughter try it. 5 minutes on the teeth, they were 1 to 2 shades lighter within 1 day. By the end of the week, they were 5 shades lighter. This is no BS. This stuff works. I'm convinced. You don't have to go sit in the mall where they put this chair in your mouth like this for an hour for $75. I think they're very reasonably cost, and just try them, for God's sakes.
Okay.
You want white teeth, do it.
I agree.
Right.
100%.
Next time we'll talk about changing your underwear once a week. Just kidding. Thanks for watching.
Great being here.
Doug, thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. If you have any questions, write in. We'll answer them the best we can. If they're duplicate questions, they're usually on my show somewhere. You can look them up in Google. See you guys next time.
Bye now.
Thanks.
RickDrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.